Hi everyone, it's Artist from Man Carpentry. Today I'm going to show you how to fit a door. Either it's a bespoke door which you have made. If you want to see how to video how to make a door, click on the link above. So today I'm gonna show you how to fit a door and adjust hinges. So first of all, if it's a bespoke unit, when you fix your end panels or fillets or frame, whatever it would be, I try always to hide the screws. So in this case what I have done, I've located screws behind the hinges, so once the hinges are screwed on you're not going to see any fixings, just to make it neater. I know it's not a big deal, but at the end of the day it makes it look nicer when you open the doors, so that's what I do. Also, with drilling the hinges, you can get a hinge cutting jig, which I've got, but I also have a 35mm drill bit which you can use. And in the case if you need just only a few doors to do, you could buy just a drill bit which is about 12 to 15 pounds as opposed to jig which is about 30 to 35 pounds. So if you don't use it that often, get a drill bit. Only thing, make sure it's sharp, because when it's blunt it tends to slide away a bit, so you need to be a bit careful. It's easier to use. I would suggest, for a better quality, get a jig, because you can hold it, you can clamp it, and it's easier to do with the jig. So on the jig you're gonna find 3 measurements which you can adjust, which is 3, 4 and 5, or 6 depending on the jig. So I choose to have 5mm, and reason being, what that will do, that will push the door maximum back to the frame, near maximum. So because it's always easier to adjust it out, you got more adjustment out than into the frame. So I think into the frame you got a couple millimeters, 1.5 or 2, and out you got 3 at least. So therefore it's easier to adjust it. You got more adjustment if you're tighter onto the frame side than onto the middle. So because if you go say 3mm, you would be too far out, so you wouldn't be able to maybe adjust it as you need, the gap wise. If you want me to review all the other hinge types, I will do that. Comment below, because there's insert hinges which are made for cabinets to go inside of the unit without the frame. So basically unit is your frame, and there's the halves which are for doors which go halfway on the upright. So if you want me to review those, I'll do that. Comment below. But today we obviously reviewing these. So first of all, obviously you need your hinges. I use soft close. So on here I use the hinges. I use screws which they come with. They're these. I think they're 3.5 by 16. So drill them. So put your plate on. It does have an arrow, so this arrow shows that you go onto the hinge. So the next step I do is I hold it back, measure from top of the door down to the center of the hole, 33, and add a gap which is 2mm. So center is 83, add 2, so that's 87. So measure down, and remember not to measure down from the underside of here, but from the underside of the top. 7, and this measurement for door is 37, so you measure 37 from front of the unit in. What I do, I pre-drill, prepare the screw, align it, then what you can do, you can mark center line here where you want it to be, move the hinge back, measure 37, so once you screw down, you can check. As you can see, it needs adjusting. So you can see the gap is not quite. So to adjust it, you're gonna need Phillips PH2. So this screw, if you screw it in, it pushes it in, the door goes in. If you screw it out, so basically opposite the clockwise, it pulls the door out of the frame. If you go clockwise, it pushes the door in to the frame, onto the frame. So where this screw here adjusts that in and out. So anti-clockwise it goes, pushes out of the frame, clockwise pushes onto the frame. So let's see, I think we needed. So as we can see, the gap is parallel, so now we want to get it in. Chop a little bit more. So there we go. One door is on, and basically repeat the process. So remember, ideally you have this measurement from back of the door to the start of the hinge at about 5 mil, and that will give you more adjustment, unless you're having different type of hinge. So just to remember, when you got full overlay hinges like we have, you want to have this measurement 5 mil from back of the door to start of the hinge. That will give you that smaller gap here, which gives you more adjustment, because you can adjust the 3 millimeters in, where if you would like to push back, it's only about 2. Well, I prefer it that way anyway, but you might like it differently, but that's just how I would do it. So when you measure out these, as I said, if it's a bespoke unit, I always try to hide my fixing points for hinges, not hinges, for fixing end panels in. So I always put my hinge over the screws to hide where I fix the end panel. Also what I would do is I will have the bottom hinge always be slightly higher up than the top hinge. Mainly it's because just the way it works out, because you got plinth, you also got frame, you know, so you need to check those things so your hinge is not too low, otherwise you won't be able to fix it. I usually have it about from 100 to the 150 on the top, depending on what kind of cupboard it is and how many hinges I'm having, and on the bottom it's about 150 to 200 depending again on what cupboard you build. But yeah, I hope it was you finding it useful, and I'll catch up with you in the next video.